Hey guys, I just wanted to share a quick video. Last weekend we did a goal setting session, which I've actually been doing since I was about 15 years old. And basically, what I do is it gives me a moment to think about my life, what I'm doing with it, where it's heading and where it is, and what things I'm unhappy about, and what things I want to be in my life, and what I want more of. And I've been doing this ever since I was about 15, and I do it twice a year. And sometime when I was younger, I started inviting friends along. So it's always available. It's always in January and always in June. Um, and so anyone's welcome to join me. It's open. There's no pressure to it. It's just some people sharing what they would like to do and be. And so I thought for those who couldn't make it, I would record a quick video just to explain how the system works, and why we do them. So as far as the system goes, I've got a workbook that I'll link below. It's just the process that I go through. And there's also an audio which is from a personal development program called Personal Power 2. And it's basically a 30-day self-development course. And on day 12, there is an hour and a half or 2 hour session just on goals. That audio is probably the perfect thing I've ever been able to find as far as a framework. Um, all what you do is you find the right environment, and you can get the right vibe. So maybe a cafe, maybe it's with some friends, maybe it's by a beautiful lake. Um, and in that environment, you're scribbling down notes, you're thinking about what you want for your life, and there's a bit of a structure to it. Um, and that also follows through in the workbook. So uh, probably the simplest. Once you finish this, I'll have a link to a share drive which has that audio on it. Just have a listen to it at a time that you can, and also on page 5 at the bottom of there's a little exercise there. I've got a whole lot of how would you say prompts for areas of your life to think about and to brainstorm. So with ideas and prompts for you to think about different areas of your life, or different things that you hadn't thought of, like what would you like to learn, what would you like to feel, where would you like to go, what experiences would you like, and those are all listed there as well. So before we start, the most obvious question is like why do I do this, and what's the purpose? For me, it's a way to kind of expand what's possible in my life, um, and it's a way to imagine a better life and a better scenario for where they are, for where it is right now. If I'm in a company, thinking about how I could make that company even better, how I could make the team even better, how I could make myself better, in my own business as well. And the other thing that's important is in that ability to expand what's actually possible. The first thing that's cool is to just be inspired and feel uplifted by something bigger than you that you could imagine yourself being. And I love that idea of inspiration. Um, and then from that, you take that inspiration and then you look at it, and it makes you determined that you want it. So you have that feeling of determination and focus, and you're just going to push through no matter what happens. And then the next step as well is you map out each step that's going to happen and what work you need to do in order to do it, and then you damn well get on and actually do the damn work. And then the sensation at the end of it, once you've actually achieved something that you imagined just on the top of your head, is awesome, right? And it's just a game. It doesn't mean anything. Everyone can live their life however the hell they want. But I think that for me, that's the whole reason, is that you're living your life how you want, not going through the process of everything. Everything in my life, one of my favorite quotes is thoughts become things. And what that means is, if you think of every single thing that exists in your life, the car, the house, the partner, all of those things just started out as an idea, and then some action happened, because there has to be some action. And then as a result of that, that's now your life, and that's literally the life that you live. And quite often you can look back on life and you go, okay, wow, 10-year-old me, 20-year-old me, could look at those things and just be blown away by the fact that that is now my life and these are realities to me. And I think that's kind of cool. The other thing that's really important about goals is that goals set something solid down. So rather than having these pie in the sky, basically bullshit in your mind that you're imagining, oh, I'm going to be this or that, and that's a nice feeling and that's awesome. Freaking so much better than just like not being inspired by anything at all. But the cool thing about goals is you're actually making it solid. You're setting a framework and you're working towards it. Now, a lot of times when people talk about goals, they talk about SMART goals. It's quite a common thing. And I kind of like it. So what it is, it's specific. So it's got to be a specific thing. It's got to be measurable. So you've got to know that you've achieved that thing. It has to be attainable. You have to look at it and go, okay, it's going to be a stretch, but I'm actually going to make it. Realistic. How is this going to work in the environment? Attainable and realistic, kind of similar. And it's got to be time bound. So you've got to have a specific deadline for a specific thing to happen at a specific time that feels realistic. On that, I actually do like to have some space in my goals for non-realistic goals, because by having something that I really don't think I can achieve above me to work towards, that I'm inspired to work on, often that can be more powerful than having something that's like mundane and boring to me and doesn't help. Often a really good goal could be something that you look at and you actually get a little bit scared, or you feel a little bit of excitement inside, or doubt or fear. That's probably a good sign, and it's probably something that means something to you. So, in the workbook, you can just download that, print it off, whatever you want to do, or you can just use a notebook with it. One of the first exercises is called the Wheel of Life. And what this is, just imagine a circle with 6 main areas of your life. So some of those sections won't apply to you. You may not need to put a lot of emphasis on them. So you're free to change the sections of your life to be different, if that's what's important to you. But I think the main categories that are there are important, and have been picked out for a reason. Now, the idea of Wheel of Life is you put where you are and you look as to where you could be and what that might do. Often when you're doing that exercise, ideas will jot up. So you're like, it might be under your relationships or your home life or your career. And, I actually want to start a business. So you write that down as you're doing it. One of the most powerful things of the concept of the Wheel of Life is if that was a wheel on your car, and you have one area of your life, for example, your career, is just absolutely, you're knocking it out of the park, 10 out of 10, no one is doing as good as you are on your career or your business. And at the same time, you're not committing, your relationship with your partner isn't going well, and you're not being a good partner, and you're letting that side of things slide, or you're letting your body slide. You're not spending time eating healthy foods, getting enough sleep, and you're just caning yourself to get those work goals done. Then those parts of those sections of your life, if they're neglected for too long, will come and bite you later. And so if you put too much emphasis on one area of your life at the expense of the others without a balanced, holistic life, that can be a case that's not healthy. And the analogy of being a wheel on a car, imagine you've got like a round wheel, and life is smooth and runs, and you get from where you are to where you want to be. If you take that to the extreme, you've got like a triangle with one part that's really high and then other parts that are very, very weak. Well, then that's going to be like a really jumpy ride, and that's going to shake your whole. It's not going to be a smooth ride, and it's not going to be a smooth life, and that will shake your whole life apart because of the areas in your life that haven't been that have been neglected at the expense of other areas. I have no problems tactically choosing to put all of my emphasis on, say, a degree, so that I can get that over the line. And some of my old students, I could see that's what they were doing, And that's amazing, right? That's how you get things, but you want to make sure that you're aware of that and you're doing it consciously, and you're not missing out on other things. So that's the main thing on it. What I would recommend you do, work through the list, do the Wheel of Life exercise, and then put on the audio tape that I've included the link to. Work through that. It's about an hour and a half. Put the right environment around you. Set the vibe. I'll often go to a cafe or where it's comfy and fun. And as the ideas are happening, jot them down. You want quantity, not quality. It's fine to just put silly ideas that are impossible. Don't judge yourself. Just keep working on them, expanding on them, making them bigger. Like maybe I want to be an astronaut or want to work for NASA. Okay, cool. Well, that's allowed to go on there, and I'm allowed to then think about how important that is to me, and what and practically how it's going to happen. But that's not while you're doing the creativity. So work through the audio. Now, once you've got it finished, you then review all these pages and pages of ideas, and all these different sections. So you can write down a heading of, say, relationships or education or feelings or happiness, whatever is important that you're trying to expand on, and then write down all the things that you're going to do. I want to go to comedy clubs. I want to learn how to public speak. I want to, etc., etc. Hundreds of ideas for goals of whatever's important for you. Then what I do is I take those 3 to 5 pages. Most times I do this, I generate a lot of ideas and a lot of things that are possible. And I'm just looking for the 20 most important things. So I think of a thing that's the most important is not necessarily the thing that will make me happiest, but it's the thing that is most important to my life. Often happiness is important, but sometimes I might have to take a hard look at certain tasks. I might have to break up. I might have to leave a job. I might have to acknowledge that I'm not doing well, and in order to deal with the thing that's actually the most important thing in my life. So I pick out the top 20, the things that I like and the things that are most important to me. And then from that, I get a clean sheet of paper and write down 1 to 20. And I just pick the 20 that are the most important. Then you've got your list of 20. Now what you do is you then pick out the top 5 and you put them in order. Not more than 5, just 5. So this was credited to Warren Buffett. It turns out Warren actually didn't say it originally, but it's a beautiful story anyway. The concept is you have your top 20 things that you could achieve. Now, if any person is working on 20 things in a year, work on a little bit of this, a little bit, you're probably not going to achieve much at all, and you're probably going to finish the year unfulfilled, compared to picking 5 specific things that you put all of your energy behind, and your focus and your resources and your time is committed to 5 things. By all means, if you meet the 5 things in your first 3 months, boom, love your work, grab another 5, right? Or if you're working really hard on something and you're like, look, this is a lot, this task is harder, or I often don't like to take things out if they're harder, because if it's hard, that might be a sign that it's more valuable. I don't know. But if you look at your top 5 and there are things that your values may have changed or your priorities have changed, well, okay, it's okay to consciously move one out and promote something else from the other 20. But if you're just being lazy and not working on those top 5 things and being ill-disciplined towards your goals, it's not going to be as cool, and you're going to finish the year without the things that are really important to you and your life being met. So that list becomes your to-do and your to-don't. So if you work on the 15 things that are, or if you work on the list that's your top 5, you'll achieve. But if you catch yourself doing any of the other 15, you need to tell yourself off, because that is detracting from your most important thing. So then you've got your top 5. I normally pause. I don't normally do much on that day. I then have a sleep, come back and look at my top 5. I'll then kind of map out about an hour or two. I might do it in a couple of sessions. I might play the CD. I'll often run this course with people, or this goal session with friends who couldn't make the first meeting multiple times. I normally do sort of 2 or 3 passes at it anyway. I'll listen to the CD again and then keep writing more, keep adding or subtracting. Sometimes it's so much more powerful to do less in your life. That can make you genuinely happier, and you can live the life that you actually want. So I think all of those things are important. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the course, the workbook, the audio, and the process that I use. Once you've finished it, you're welcome to join with, I've set up a small Facebook group of about 20 people. You're welcome to join that. Those are the people that are actively working on it. I have another larger group of about 200 people, which are also welcome to join. That's not quite so active as a group. You're welcome if you want me to introduce you to someone who could be your accountability partner, which is someone that you can send your daily goals to. You can share how you're progressing, the actions you've done, and they can actively cheer you on. If you want a referral to a really good quality coaches, I know a number, and I'm happy to share some free coaching lessons. If you'd like to meet once a week, there's quite a few of us will meet up on a Wednesday midday to do these goals and review how things are going, or work on our books, or whatever it is that we're doing. So you're welcome to join that. And so that's a coach. Oh, also as well, if you want to share to that group what your goals list are, you're welcome to do so. If you want to keep it private, that's also cool. If you want to share it with an accountability partner who's a friend of yours, awesome. And if you want me to introduce you to a friend, a new friend or a new accountability partner, also happy to do so. And if you want to share it with me personally and you'd like me to chat to you, I'm always down for that. I'll always give as much energy as I can, but not more. Obviously with my current health, I've got to kind of balance things a little bit. But yeah, that's the basics of it. So I'm really honoured that you would have listened to all of this, and I'd be super stoked if you wanted to join me with these goals. And I'll be even more excited to see how we are in another six months' time. And regardless, I'll be doing it again in January. Normally it's around the 8th to 12th-ish. Sometimes we have to do a little bit further up, but I normally try and keep it close to the 1st. And we do it every June, and it's normally again in that first week of June. And you're welcome to join anyway. And if you're scared about joining or making a commitment bigger than you, set your goals smaller. That's allowed. And if you're worried about joining and then not having the commitment to it, that's also allowed. We're here to just encourage each other to find good, motivated people that are trying to be better, do better in their lives, and be better people, and make it more of an impact on the world. That's all we're trying to do, and it's just a game at the end of the day. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a silly thing to do, which is to be as good as we can be and to set some goals that change our lives or other people's lives. So, yeah, cheers. Drop me a note if you've got any questions. Otherwise, thanks and have a great day. I'll see you in 6 months.